Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to call this meeting to order. And at this time, I'm going to ask this young man right here, Brother Tucker Green there, if he will give us, everybody stand for a moment of prayer, please.
Good bow your heads, please, let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you tonight thankful for this day you've given us. Lord, we're thankful to have the opportunity to live in a country, state, and community where citizens are allowed and encouraged to be active participants in government. Lord, we thank you for the countless public servants who work tirelessly behind the scenes, provide necessary services to the people of Pickens County. Lord, we thank you for and ask you to protect our men and women in the military and in public safety who sacrifice their lives every day for us. Lord, we ask that you be with our elected officials, give them wisdom and guidance as you'd see fit. In your name, humbly we pray. Amen.
Thank you very much, Tucker. And while we're standing, let's do the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. All right, Tucker, thank you. That brings us down to item number 3, amendments to the agenda. We have 3 amendments to the agenda. One of them is in regard to the Good Samaritan contract for the building that has been, hopefully, they're back on track now, but we need to go ahead and approve for the financial agent for that, other than they're paying for everything. We're going to be the financial agent. That's what they requested, like on the previous contract. Also, we have another one here, another contract for GFA loans for the Grandview Lake projects. Everybody knows we have many discussions over the Grandview Lake projects, the dam and the water resourcing. And also another amendment to the agenda that's not on here. We're going to vote tonight about canceling the July 6th work session. That's still going to be the week of the 4th. Some of us are not going to be here for that week, plus a lot of our staff are going to be out for the 4th of July weekend, so we're going to like to get that on there where we can vote on that and not have a work session on July 6th. That being said, I'd like to have that as a, we can probably do all 3 of them as a move to accept those amendments, agenda to the amendments. So moved.
Second.
All right, we have a move and a second. Any further discussion? None being, all in favor, let know by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, none opposed, thank you. That has been approved. Lisa, can you put that where that on the agenda? We'll put that items down as new business. Yeah. All right, that brings us down to employee recognition. This is a part of the meeting tonight that Ms. Denny has taken and run with it, and it has been very rewarding, I think, for recognition of the employees of Pickens County. Ms. Denny, I'm going to turn it over to you for this one.
Well, thank you. We have a 10-year award this week, and unfortunately, KCL Pickett cannot be with us tonight. She's on vacation, so I would like to request that we roll this over to next month and present it at that time.
Right, I make a move that we do so. Okay. Have a move and a second. Any further discussion? None being, all in favor, by saying aye. Aye. None opposed, thank you. We'll go ahead and move that one over to next month, if you would, please. All right. That brings us down to item number 6 under finance report. Normally this is the time that we're going to turn it over to Ms. Harvey. I know we've got the auditors here going to do their report. Ms. Harvey, you want to go ahead and give you a quick what you got?
Sure, you want me just to give the recap, basically?
If it is, yeah, that'd be fine.
Okay. Y'all have your report. This is for the period of May 31st, first 5 months of our fiscal year. So the expenditure budget should be 41.7% or less. The general fund revenue collections for that period total $5,661,375. That's 22.2% of the budgeted amount. The general fund expenditures through May 31st are $9,706,881, and that's 38.7% of the budget amount. And overall, the expenditures are 3% under budget right now. The line item budget reports were distributed to all the elected officials and the department heads on June 13th. And I have copies of all those if y'all need to review them.
further questions to Ms. Harvey on her finance statement so far? The auditor is going to be speaking down on the action items on item C down there, so we're going to get to yours. Yes,
I
ma'am.
would like to say one other thing. Last month, I gave y'all a recap of the 2016 budgets after accruals and audit adjustments, and I'd like to ask for a budget amendment to recognize the revenue and to let the expenditures, let the budgets match what's in the audited financial statements.
Have you all had time to review your books on that particular issue? Yeah. I need move in a second for her request.
So moved.
So,
Have a move in a second for that item, if you got all that. All that in favor, any further discussion on that? None being, all that in favor, let know by saying aye.
Aye.
None opposed, thank you, that has passed. All right. That brings us down to item number 7 on the consent agenda. Under the consent agenda, we signed the Family Connection contract for 2018. I had approval from this board to sign that contract back in February. I believe it was February, March. We just have got the contract in, so it has been signed and taken care of. So that has been done under the consent agenda. Any questions on that? None being, that brings us down to item number 8 under old business. We have, this is the Pickens County 2017 Asphalt Paving bid project. We have, as we received earlier, we've got it here. We have discussed it in the work session. The bids ranged from 1.14 down to $1,006,000. We have more or less with the bids were Caldwell Construction, City of Matthews, Bartow Paving, Northwest Georgia Paving, and Johnson Paving. Bartow Paving, Northwest Georgia Paving, and Johnson Paving were within, off and on, $2,000 between each one of them. Northwest Georgia Paving was low bidder at $1,006,162. We have taken, between myself and Johnny and Kim Quinton, have taken and reviewed those contracts, looked at what was done, be sure there was a black restored, eggs for eggs, everybody was on the same page. We cannot find any reason why Northwest Georgia Paving cannot receive that contract for this year, even though it's just $1,700 cheaper than Johnson Paving. Everything is up to the board. So that being said, I need an approval from this board to go ahead and accept the low bid from Northwest Georgia Paving for this coming summer.
So moved.
second.
Have a move and a second. Any further discussion, and I will mention to the fact that this is LMIG. There was nearly 500 and, how much was the state money?
I think it was 536.
536 LMIG from the state, and then the county is matching the rest of it with some of our SPOS funds to cover that. And then on top of that, there's going to be some other roads paved by the county equipment. These are contracts, so yes, a lot of the roads were not mentioned in the progress office. I mean, in the progress that was put out, but there is going to be more roads what was listed going to be paved. So I have a move and a second. Any further discussion? None being, all that in favor, let know by saying aye.
Aye.
None opposed, thank you. That Northwest Georgia paving contract has been approved. All right, we're going to go to item number 9 under new business, which is the LMIG. We're going to go back to road paving, so everybody don't get confused. We're going to, this is new business under A item, the LMIG road paving schedule for 2018, not 2017. This is for next year. To give the board a heads up, we are now putting a list together for roads for the 2018 paving season under LMIG, which is the maintenance grant that we get from the state. We're in the process of doing that. Mr. Nicholson and Kim will be giving us all a list of what they would like to see done, that we can look at if we want to tweak some of these items in as we go forward. Is there anything else we need to mention on that one at this particular time?
We should be getting notified by the state any day now. The
how-
2018, how much?
How much
for
money?
LMIG, how much
Okay.
for LMIG?
Yeah, we have not received that item yet. We hopefully it'll be a little bit more than what we got last year. And like Ms. Harvey said earlier, it was $530,000 last year, so it should be a little bit more this year for next year's LMIG projects. Any questions on that? All right, that brings us down to item B under bid package for the generators. FEMA, Federal Emergency Management Area, has got another grant out this time for well, not only Pickens County, but nationwide. But we're going to capitalize on it to the fact that we're looking for 4 more generators. 3 permanent generators for additional pump stations at, help me with this, Tucker. There's 3 permanent, one of them is at Highway 53, right before you get into Gordon County. One of them on Henderson Mountain Road, up on top of the mountain there where the water tank is at. And the third one, can't think where the third one's at. There's a third one that we've got listed. Pardon?
I know, so you asked me.
My mind was blank too. But there's 3 generators, and there's no a portable generator, a 4th generator, which is portable to handle two other pumping stations that we have for Pickens County. Those bid packages will be going out, or have went out today, didn't they? Or
That was the pre-bid meeting.
pre-bid meeting, I'm sorry, we had today. So the bid packages will be going out pretty soon. We've had 2 companies come into the office today to discuss the pre-bid contracts. So those are moving forward. John Nixon, that's EMA director, is handling that for us, as well as Tucker, Mr. Green here. Any further discussion on that?
Do we usually get those bids from local companies?
We do. We've got 2 companies here in Pickens County that sell generators. Every once in a while, we have a company out of Gainesville that'll send a bid package in here on those generators. I think the last time we had 3 companies. There was Genspring.
I believe Burgess,
I don't think Bird Electric put one in, but Genspring,
the guy out of Gainesville,
the guy out of Gainesville, I can't think what his company name was, and the other local
another local.
Generac, Scott Fowler's company, we're all local.
And two have picked up bids for these generators already.
Okay.
Genspring and I can't remember the other. Who's the other one?
I think Scott Fowler picked
Might
it
have
up.
been Scott.
I think, whatever, I can't remember what his company was, he picked up a bid also. So those bid packages are starting to go out, and we did had a pre-bid meeting today. Any other questions in regard to those? All right, that brings us down to item number 10 under action items. A, part of action item to approve the minutes. We need approval of the regular board meeting on May 8th, 2018. Need approval of the minutes for that particular board meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Have a move and a second. Any further discussion? None being, all that in favor, let know by saying aye.
Right.
None opposed, thank you. Those minutes have been approved. All right, then also on June 1st of 2017, we had a work session, and I need those minutes to be approved also.
So moved.
Second.
Have a move and a second. Any further discussion? None being, all that in favor, let know by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, thank you. All right. That brings us down to item B, a rezone request. I don't think we've had a rezone request this month, so that is a new subject. Now, young ladies, we have item C, we have a presentation of the 2016 audit by Bates Carter and Associates. I'm going to turn it over to Bates Carter and Associates. Good to have you
All
here.
right. We're glad to be here. We're just biting into bit. We're waiting for our turn to get up here because we know you're on pins and needles, waiting to hear what we've got to say, right?
That's it.
Now you're going to have to show me how to operate this technology. Just did a-
Just motion me and
Oh, okay. Next. All right. So to get started, we audited this year, Pickens County, fiscal year 2016. I brought with me Amanda Wilson, the one that actually really probably does the work. She manages this project and does a great job, and I think you all can attest to that. So she came along today as well to help answer any questions you may have. But to get started, we issued a clean opinion, which is a clean or unmodified opinion, which is the highest level opinion that we can give on a set of financial statements. That is the issue, the opinion that we would have expected to issue Pickens County. There's no issues there, and basically what it means is the statements are presented fairly with generally accepted accounting principles. We do also issue another report. We issue internal control and compliance reports. We don't give opinions on those internal controls and compliance, but we do test them as far as how they relate with the financial information of the audit, and if needed, we do give recommendations as well for improvements that may be needed as well. And typically, what's included is always all departments, funds, and elected officials. The Development Authority, which is a component unit, is included, which we audited, and the Health Department, which is audited by another auditor, and their year end is June 30, 2016. Okay? Well, the one thing that you certainly can be proud of this year is the fact that you had a surplus of $1.1 million. That really does add a lot to helping build up reserves here. And, as we go through these slides, you can certainly see those improvements over the years, and I can't commend you enough for how you're managing the finances here at Pickens County. Revenues overall increased about 4% from prior year. Property taxes increased, which was expected because the millage rate did increase. Charges for services increased, $421,000. The primary cause for that was boarding out-of-county prisoners. So that is what caused that increase. Also, this year, capital lease proceeds, which is a revenue and an expense, decreased. You leased quite a bit of equipment last year, but not so much this year. Intergovernmental revenues did decrease. When you see a decrease in intergovernmental revenue or even in capital lease, you know that there's a matching expense going right along with it that's decreased. So that did decrease $758,000, and that's because of that tank project that you had the year before that you didn't have this year. It was completed last year.
Hallelujah.
I bet. Overall, revenues are over the final budget of $359,000, and that's where you want to be over budget, is in your revenues. Capital lease proceeds are under, which you didn't lease as much. Taxes are over. Charges for services are also over as well. Okay. Expenditures decreased compared to 2015 by about $851,000, and guess what? The majority of that reason, because of that tank project. Overall, expenditures were below the final budget. The transfers were below budget by $294,000. Public safety was under $149,000. And Public Works was under by $146,000.
May I clarify something on the tank project? Now, y'all don't be worried about the money. Well, we all worry about the money, but that money that went into the tank depot, the project she's referring to, was federal grants. So that's not all Pickens County money. Very little of the Pickens County, most of it's federal grants, but she has to show it on the statements.
Right, it's part of the sources of revenues and expenditures, so we do have to show those federal funds. Okay. This graph just depicts your history of revenues and expenditures. Revenues is the blue line, expenditures is the red line, and you would hope to see the blue line above the red line, which is in your case. That hasn't always been in the past, but that is good to see that is certainly just continues to improve. Also, this is another very good graph showing, or chart showing, just how well your fund balance is looking. You can see the improvements that have been made, and where you're at. It's very, very steady. We've talked before about GFOA recommending at least 25%. Y'all are on the higher end and above it, so I think that that is a good place for you to be in. Spliced collected $4 million in revenues, spent $3.5 million, and these are on the approved projects through the referendum that are just the various county projects throughout the county. Long-term debt. Your long-term debt this year outstanding is $1.9 million. And the long-term debt, I want to clarify, this is debt that you're actually making some kind of loan payment on. Notes payable had a balance of $860,000 for the community center. The interest is right around 3%, and that matures, or did mature. It will mature, I'm sorry, fiscal year 2019. And you've got capital leases and about $1 million that mature in FY 2020. Very low debt. Pickens County has very low debt. You can see that on the next slide where we use comparable counties. Comparable counties is based on population, not necessarily what you have going on, but just strictly by population. For your population size, the average is 8.6 million, and as you can see, you're well below that average. The counties that we're comparing to are Chattooga, Habersham County, Gilmer County, Lumpkin, Murray, and White County. Okay. Business type activities, your water fund had an operating income of $248,000. It is covering the depreciation cost of $621,000. So that's a good thing. That does not include your debt service. So as you can see, what I like to look at is your depreciation cost is not being fully funded, but partially funded, because you do have about $471,000 in debt service that you're paying. That fund also has about $7 million of long-term debt. The majority of that is bonds payable for waterline infrastructure with an interest rate of 2.35%, and it matures fiscal year 2029. Airport Authority. Airport Authority has an operating loss of $56,000. It includes $91,000 of depreciation costs, and of course it does not include the debt service payments of $487,000. One of those airports are just something you've got to have. They're the benefits of what they bring to your area, something that you have to consider when you're looking at this. Their long-term debt balance is $3.6 million for airport taxiway construction, and that debt matures fiscal year 2019. Okay. Other issues. We had a new pension liability accrual for the first time in 2015. This is the second year. Net pension for Pickens County is $3.2 million. I know it probably sounds a lot for y'all, but compared to other areas and other counties, that's not anything that you really have to be that concerned about, just because of the rules and regulations concerning pensions. They're making sure, the state of Georgia has made sure that counties and cities are properly funding these things. Okay? Any questions? I felt like I went on fast. Unlike a Baptist preacher, I went through it too fast. So, but if there's any questions that I can answer for you, I will be glad to, or any clarifications later that I can make. We enjoy serving Pickens County. We enjoy working with Faye. She does a wonderful job, and we appreciate our relationship with you.
And let me make this, and thank you very much for what you have done and your company has done for Pickens County. Anybody that had any questions, please at the end of the meeting, you'll be able to ask questions to her if anybody's got any questions. If anybody would like to look at the financial statements, they are open to the public in the back room back here on the table. You've got a 12-foot table. You can spread it all out there and look at it all you want to.
The audited financial statements will also be on the website.
Yeah, and they will. Yeah, the audited financial statement will also be on the website. Ms. Faye, you got any other comments or?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much.
I think we're all glad it's done.
All right, I got pump stations. It's Henderson Mountain, McLean Mountain, and Highway 53 West. Thanks, ladies. All right. That brings us down to item number D. We have a resolution appointing Amy Burgess to the Industrial Development Authority of Pickens County. Amy Burgess is the Chief Financial Officer of Pickens County School System. She has agreed to serve on the Industrial Authority Board because the school system does have a dog in the fight when companies come in and for tax purposes. So at this time, I'd like to make if somebody would give me a move, I'd like to see if we would accept Miss Amy Burgess to the Industrial Authority of Pickens County.
Second.
Have a move and a second. Any further discussion? And I might be going out on a limb, but I think, did she get married?
Yes.
I was gonna
What's
say
her-
it.
what's her-
Smith.
Smith.
Smith, okay, I'm sorry. So it's Amy Smith. Amy Burgess, how's that? What's that? So I have a move and a second. Any further discussion? None being, all that in favor, let it know by saying aye. None opposed, thank you. All right, and then we're going to get to the amendments of the agenda E, F, and G. We'll go ahead and do this one real quick. Amendment E, I'd like to have a move and second for the work session on July 6th, that we cancel the work session on July 6th.
So moved.
Have a move second. Any further discussion on that particular one? All right, all in favor, let it know by saying aye.
Aye.
None opposed, thank you. That's done.
Of course, if something comes up, we're gonna.
If something comes up, we can always have a special call meeting. That's not a problem. All right, item number F on the agenda is I'll go ahead and do the Good Samaritan Health and Wellness Center contract. They are not here this evening, but what it is, they had the other contractor that was doing it had kind of went out of business, so they had to regroup and reprocess their application through, I can't remember who they repressed, through Georgia. I think it was Georgia, well, it's not Georgia 1, excuse me. Yeah, I've got it here somewhere. And they had the contract went out. They opened the contract today at 2 o'clock. There was one company that bid on the project, and I think that bid come in around 1.9 million. Finish up their building down here for Good Samaritan. So they're wanting us to approve it, go ahead.
The reason that the county's involved in this is that they received a CDBG grant in the amount of around $450,000. Part of that grant has already been drawn down because, like you said, the previous contractor started construction on the building and didn't finish it. So the remainder of that CDBG grant will be drawn down, and that's all the county's responsibility is. We're just fiscal agent for the grant.
So
And then Good Samaritan will finish the project.
that's great. We don't have any money per se coming
Right.
out. All right, I need a move and a second to approve.
Second.
Have a move and a second. Any further discussion? None being, all that favor, let it know by saying aye. None opposed, thank you. All right, that has been finalized, and I think I've got to, is there something in here I've got to sign? I can't remember. Well, we can call him, yeah, call him tomorrow. All right, then that brings us, all right, that brings us down to item G. We've got a contract here, a JIFA loan contract working with Grandview Lake property owners for dam repair in that area. We've had many hours of discussion, open meetings, this, that, and the other on that particular, getting the dam repaired, as well as a water treatment plant. The water withdrawal permit has been approved. It's actually, right now, it's in Grandview LLC's name for 333,000 gallon a day withdrawal permit out of Grandview Lake. That permit is on the process of getting it transferred into Pickens County's name. So that water withdrawal permit will be a Pickens County name. And actually what it does, when I get done with all this, it just gives Pickens County a reservoir that everybody has been trying to push towards. So we've got a dam repair contract here of approximately $1.6 million. And then we have another contract, actually, the phase two is 2.6, which includes the dam repair. And then, and it also includes, construction in favor on a treatment facility. And then the infrastructure is 1.4. That loan, so you put them both together, is probably around $4 million or GFA loans. We talked to, the engineering company today. They think the 1.4 is going to be a little high. They don't think they're going to need all that money on the infrastructure. So, but anyway, the process has started. Number one, if we get it approved tonight, that the dam will be repaired with the help of Pickens County through the GFA loans and the citizens of Grandview Lake proper as partnering and helping pay for the repairs of the dam. And then we'll have another loan on that second phase 2 project for the completion, building and completion of a treatment facility to withdraw the 333,000 gallon a day and pipes, tanks, and all to get the water into the Pickens County system. So I need a move and a second for all the, for that.
Can I ask a
Sure.
question? How much was it that Grandview is going to put in it, and is it going to be a lump sum, or are they going to make payments?
They're gonna make payments. It was, I think, what we were told was the property owners there were gonna make payments for 2 to 3 years, towards this loan here, and help get this dam repaired. Pickens County has got a road across that dam, which kind of makes us a little liable for that area.
I don't know where I heard this. I was thinking they had some lump sum, like $1 million or something.
They have paid, don't hold me to this, almost somewhere around $300,000 to $400,000 in engineering costs that they've already paid out of their own pocket, that our engineering firm was privy to, which was Turner Sheet Engineering. They also had enough money to put in some couple of wells, spot wells on the west side of the dam for infiltration of water. I forgot what they call those wells, but there's a name for them, and they test them every so many weeks.
Do we think that it will bring in enough income to cover payments once we start taking over the payments?
It is going to be considered as an enterprise fund, which means that the water department will be liable for the funding of that. That's not going to be pulled out of the taxpayers or your general fund. So it's going to be enterprise fund. Thank you. To that point. Now, there is some talk to the fact that if we can put, just because we get these signed tonight does not mean we have to go through it. I mean, we can't spend time. But what that does is the water can be sold, give us our own resourcing of water, gives Pickens County the ability to have it on the reservoir without having to build one, because as most of y'all, as we have talked about it in the past, it's still costing in the neighborhood of $4.50 to $6 or better to even build per gallon to build a reservoir. So it's quite an expensive project to take on this right here. Will benefit both communities as well as all the citizens of Pickens County for water resourcing. The reason why the 333 gallon a day permit come in is the fact that the Corps of Engineers, along with the engineering company that was helping Grandview proper, determined that that amount of water coming out of Grandview Lake would not change the elevation of the water level once the lake was filled. And that lake is not designed for the water, for the elevation to change a whole lot anyway. So that's why that was particular number, 333,000 gallon was put on the withdrawal permit from the Corps of Engineers.
And when do you expect that we'll start construction on this or working on it?
They want to, through EPD in the Safe Dams Act, that all this is deriving from, part of the issue this is deriving from, once construction started right away. Now, when you talk to EPD and the Corps of Engineers and DNR and everybody else involved, I don't know what the determination of right away is. Kind of like the right of way at 53 in the city of Jasper, it's really on the fast track, but it's been on the books since 1988. But hopefully this here will be a little quicker process. And it needs to be started, I'd say within a month and a half to keep up with, because we have all kind of made a promise to EPD and the Safe Dams Act that this dam has got to be repaired. And it is a liability issue. Gary, you got any questions?
I just wonder if that's going to interfere with what paving jobs we've got going on. Is it going to tie in with that, or we contracting this out, or what are we doing?
The dam will be contracted out.
Okay.
It's a local contractor has already put bids in on that one, to repair the dam. Has nothing to do with the paving contract or anything.
Okay.
Any further discussion? I need to move in a second to go ahead and approve for me to sign these documents on, with the G for grants.
So moved.
Second.
Have a move and second. Any further discussion? None being, all in favor, know by saying aye. None opposed, thank you. All right. Now that, ladies and gentlemen, brings us down to item number 11, guest and comments. Anybody have any comment from the group? Okay.
I can't let you off that easy.
Turn that camera around where you can show it.
Yeah, she is.
Okay.
Just one, the audit
Yes.
will be on the back table there for those of us who don't like to get on the computer and read your audit. But a copy of the audit will be,
We have some extra work.
thank you.
We'll be glad, we've got a Coke machine and a cane machine all over.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you
You're
so
buying,
much.
you're buying,
We're
so I
glad,
mean,
I'm
yeah, we
not going that
appreciate
far.
it.
We'll be glad to have you here. But yeah, anybody's invited, bigger ladies to go through any of that they'd like to. Any other
Normal work there.
normal working hours, yeah. Any other questions or comments?
10 to noon?
10 to noon. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you have a good 4th of July. Hope you have a good weekend. Thank you all for being here. This meeting is now adjourned. Thank you.